Stable genius. Big a brain. Yeah, so yesterday a bunch of these reciprocal tariffs were announced. I'm going to go over that and how the market is reacting to it. And show you how incredibly well thought out they were. And then I'm getting sent videos about Ron Butler discussing liberal housing plan. Let me just break down the cost of building a house. And then you'll understand. But first, markets are reacting very poorly to these tariffs. Even gold is falling. That's usually a bad sign, just so you know. But hey, at least gas is cheap. Oil prices are falling on fears that there's going to be reduced demand from a global recession. And that is pulling the price of gasoline down. It was $2.34 a gallon. Now it's back down to $2.19 a gallon. Remember, this is the wholesale price in US dollars. Why are the markets reacting so poorly? I'm sure it's an overreaction. No, it's likely because these tariffs seem very poorly thought through. We've all heard Mr. Trump talk about how countries are taking advantage of the United States and treating them very poorly. Very, very poorly. And he just had to impose reciprocal tariffs until these places play fair. Places like the Marshall Islands. St. Pierre and Miquelon. Don't know where that is? And you call yourself a Canadian? St. Pierre and Miquelon. The French territory off the south coast of Newfoundland. See those two little red dots? That's them. Very unfair to the United States. They've been very, very unfair to the United States. And there's other far-off places like Vanuatu, Tuvalu, and my personal favorite, Heard and McDonald Islands. Very unfair to the United States, the Heard and McDonald Islands. Very, very unfair. Only one problem, they are uninhabited. It is home to a colony of penguins. But you know what the problem is, eh? Penguins are woke. The men folk take care of the babies in the penguin colonies. The Americans don't need any of that woke penguin shit. In any regard, the markets tend to think that maybe, just maybe, the administration hasn't thought this through very well. All right, the liberal housing plan. All right, I'm just going to point out something. We need affordable housing in Canada, okay? That's the problem that we have. We can build a lot of housing, but it's expensive. There's no way to make it cheaper. There's no way to make it cheaper. I'll give you this example. Pull this off of Reddit. This is a guy talking about building a house for himself, okay? And the cost is $80,000 finished. That's his estimate. It'll be $80,000 finished for a 900 square foot home, with him doing all the work himself, okay? And he's removed septic and site prep from the cost, which of course you're going to have to do. You're going to have to prep the site for construction, and you're going to have some kind of sewage system. So we'll just put that cost on the end. Now let's face it, you are not building a house by yourself. If you were to hire labor, double that price. Even if you were to hire labor, chances are you have no idea what you're doing. So you're going to want a general contractor to come in. And he says if you do that, triples the price. So his $80K becomes $240K. Or $266 a square foot, which is pretty much the going rate. So let's go with that. $240,000 for a 900 square foot house, finished, but not including the site prep and the sewage. So that would be extra. I went searching for some vacant land in London. Very difficult to find, but I did find three. These three over here, they're $400,000 each. That's typical. I've seen vacant land in London before. It's all around 400 grand a lot, right? So there you go. This lot here, 400 grand. You put a 900 square foot house on there, which is your typical mid-century home. You're now at $640,000. But site prep and sewage, and I'm sure there's going to be extras. So let's say it's 700 grand. That's realistic. $700,000 to build a 900 square foot house on this lot. Right now, you could buy a mid-century home of about 900 square feet in London for somewhere between $550,000 and $650,000, depending on how it's finished. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that building a new home, even a small home, is more expensive than what's available in the market right now. So simply building isn't the answer. That's not going to give us affordable housing. We got to think outside the box. Material prices and labor ain't going to go down. Maybe you save some money by having government contractors. You save some money by having maybe the sewage and site prep subsidized. The Liberals mentioned building on Crown land. Where do you find Crown land? There's a bunch of Canada Post land it's not being used. Just as an example. Just as an example. There's also provincial land. Like here in London, we have 2 sites that used to be locations of hospitals that are no longer functioning. That land can be used. Near our schools, Fanshawe and Western, many of the homes in and around the school are being used as student housing. If we built proper student housing, it would free up all those homes for sale. And as I just showed you, the resale homes would be cheaper than building new homes. So what am I going to say about this? Well, we have a problem. And if it was an easy fix, it wouldn't be a problem. I read through it and I see that they're trying to address the problems that we have in the market to build affordable homes, which means homes for people who can't afford the homes that are on the market now. Building more homes that are unaffordable doesn't seem to really address the problem.